Hey guys, so tonight we begin with something that might surprise you. When you picture the Mughal Empire, what comes to mind? Grand palaces, epic battles, legendary emperors, right? A romanticized blur of power and opulence. But what if I told you that behind every magnificent monument and every conquering army lay something far more mundane, yet utterly crucial? Mountains of paperwork, meticulous ledgers, and an army of bureaucrats. It wasn't just swords that forged an empire, it was also ink. So, before we dive into the dusty archives of history, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tell me where you're listening from and what time it is for you. Alright, now, dim the lights, settle into your favorite armchair, and let's journey back to a time when administration was truly an art, and often a brutal chore. Imagine, if you will, the bustling heart of the Mughal Empire, not in the emperor's private chambers or on a bloody battlefield, but in a vast, sprawling complex of low-slung buildings. Here, under the watchful gaze of the Diwanaka's the private council hall, and stretching outwards, you'd find the DIWAN-IM*, the public audience hall. But we're going deeper, past the petitioners and the generals, into the warren of officers where the real, invisible gears of the empire whirred. This, my friend, is the realm of the Diwan*, the Central Financial and Revenue Administration. Forget the glittering jewels and the silk brocades for a moment. Here, the air is thick with the smell of dried ink, aging parchment, and the faint, acrid scent of nervous sweat. You step through a heavy wooden door, perhaps a bit warped by the humid Indian seasons, and are immediately struck by the sheer volume of human activity. It's not the boisterous clamor of a market, but a persistent, low hum of industry. Scribes, hunched over low desks, their eyes narrowed in concentration, scratch away with reed pens. Accountants, their fingers stained black from countless hours of handling dusty documents, murmur figures to themselves. You might even catch the rustle of a page being turned, or the faint thwack of a new register being opened. This is the heart of the Daftar*, the record office. And it is here that the true power of the empire is translated from imperial decree into tangible reality. Your senses are immediately overwhelmed, not by beauty, but by the relentless practicality of the place. The light filtering in through small, high windows is often poor, casting long shadows that dance with the movement of the men. It's a visual metaphor for the opaque, complex nature of this bureaucracy. You can almost feel the weight of responsibility pressing down on everyone present. These men, mostly Persian-speaking Hindus and Muslims, are the guardians of the empire's purse strings, the silent enforcers of its economic might. They are the ones who translate the emperor's grand visions into tax assessments and revenue collections, the ultimate arbiters of whether the imperial coffers swell or dwindle. Look closer at the scribes, their posture often permanently stooped, a testament to endless hours spent hunched over their work. Their tools are simple: a polished wooden Calamden pen box containing reed pens, a small inkwell with a rich, dark ink, and stacks of Kagas handmade paper, often thick and slightly uneven. The paper itself is a precious commodity, hinting at the meticulous care with which every word, every number is recorded. There's a quiet dignity in their movements, a practiced grace born from repetition. Each stroke of the pen is precise, each word carefully chosen, for a mistake here could mean ruin for a village, or a shortfall in the emperor's personal funds. And then there's the hierarchy. At the apex sits the asterisk, wazir, asterisk, or asterisk diwan-iala, asterisk, the chief minister, often a man of immense intellect and political acumen. He's not some swashbuckling warrior, but a master of administration, a man who understands that an empire runs on more than just valor. It runs on detailed accounts, accurate assessments, and efficient collection. You won't see him here among the common scribes, but his presence is felt in every order, every directive that trickles down. Below him are countless asterisk mush, RIFS, asterisk inspectors, asterisk must A, UF is asterisk auditors, and asterisk YQIA-novice asterisk newswriters and official reporters, each with their specific roles, ensuring that no penny goes uncounted, no land parcel unrecorded, no decision undocumented. Consider the sheer scale of the task. The Mughal Empire, at its peak, stretched across most of the Indian subcontinent, encompassing millions of people, countless villages, and an unimaginable diversity of landscapes and agricultural practices. To manage this vast territory, to extract its wealth consistently, required a level of organizational sophistication that would frankly put many modern nations to shame. It wasn't just about demanding taxes. It was about knowing asterisk what asterisk could be taxed, asterisk who asterisk owed it, asterisk how much asterisk, and asterisk when asterisk. This involved detailed surveys, crop assessments, price controls, and an intricate system of accounting that tracked every rupee, every grain. From the humblest peasant to the imperial treasury, you feel a subtle tremor of discomfort as you stand there, observing. The romance of the empire, the grandeur, begins to fade, replaced by a stark, almost brutal appreciation for the relentless, grinding effort required to maintain it. This wasn't about charismatic leadership alone. It was about process, procedure, and paper. Imagine the pressure these men must have felt, knowing that the stability of the empire, the funding for its armies, the construction of its monuments, all hinged on their accuracy and diligence. A misplaced comma in a land grant, a miscalculated percentage in a tax assessment. These weren't minor errors. They were potentially destabilizing events. The air, despite the general lack of windows, isn't stale. It's a living, breathing testament to bureaucracy. You can almost hear the unwritten words of countless documents whispering through the centuries. Reports of crop yields from distant provinces, petitions from disgruntled landlords, accounts of imperial expenditures on military campaigns, even records of the emperor's personal wardrobe. This is where the decisions made in the asterisk DIWAN-ICOs asterisk take root, where they are transformed from abstract ideas into concrete demands on the lives of millions. It's a fascinating, if somewhat daunting, realization. The power wasn't just in the sword arm of a general, but in the calloused fingers of a scribe, diligently recording the fate of an empire, one meticulous entry at a time. This is where the true foundation of Mughal authority was laid, not in the clash of steel, but in the scratch of a pen now. Step outside the immediate confines of the central asterisk Dewan asterisk office, out into the harsh glare of the Indian sun, and let's turn our attention to how the empire actually parceled out its vast territories. Forget your modern satellite maps and GPS. Imagine instead the arduous, painstaking process of understanding and exploiting the land itself. This brings us to the very bedrock of Mughal administration, the *Jogadari* system, and the meticulous, often brutally realistic, efforts to map and assess every inch of cultivable soil. You find yourself picturing a scene far removed from the courtly elegance, a scene of dusty men traversing endless fields under a relentless sun. These are the imperial surveyors, the silent cartographers of an empire built on agricultural wealth. Their tools are simple: ropes, measuring chains, perhaps a compass, and the accumulated knowledge of generations. They're not just drawing lines on paper. They're physically walking the land, feeling the texture of the soil, estimating crop yields with an almost instinctive understanding born from a lifetime spent in the fields. Imagine the discomfort: the dry, cracked earth underfoot, the sweat stinging your eyes, the constant hum of insects. There are no air-conditioned vehicles here, no easy rides. You would walk for miles, day after day, week after week, mapping every village boundary, every field, every water source. This wasn't just about knowing where things were. It was about knowing what they produced. The Mughals understood that revenue was the lifeblood of their empire, and revenue came primarily from land. So they needed to know the potential of every plot of land, its soil quality, its irrigation, its vulnerability to flood or drought, and ultimately, its capacity to generate taxable surplus. This detailed land assessment was codified in a monumental undertaking under Emperor Akbar, known as the Nayakpuri*. It wasn't a philosophical treatise. It was a glorified, bureaucratic spreadsheet, a colossal record of the empire's assets. You can almost hear the *QANUNGO*, the hereditary village record keeper, reciting the details of his ancestral lands, his voice dry with facts and figures, not poetry. He knows the history of every field, every family, every dispute, holding this vast repository of local knowledge in his head and in his meticulously maintained and often secret registers. The *Jogadari* system was the mechanism by which this assessed land was distributed. Forget paying your officials a salary in cash. The Mughals often paid them by assigning them a *jagarisk, a right to collect revenue from a specified area of land. You, as a loyal official or a military commander, might be granted a *jagir* in a distant province. This wasn't ownership of the land itself. It was a temporary assignment, often for a few years, to extract the imperial share of the produce. Imagine the complexities this created. You, the *Jagadar*, are now responsible for ensuring that the peasants in your assigned territory actually produce the required revenue. You have an incentive to maximize production, but also to prevent unrest. You're balancing the imperial demand for revenue with the practical realities of cultivation. You're also managing local village headmen, the *Muqaddams*, and the *Kanangos*, who are the eyes and ears on the ground. They are your conduits to the peasantry, and often your first line of defense against discontent, or, more subtly, against deliberate underreporting of yields. The *Jagadar's* weren't static. To prevent them from developing deep roots and local power bases, they were often transferred from one *Jagar* to another every few years. Imagine being uprooted every couple of years, moving your entire household, your administrative staff, your personal retinue from a fertile plain to a rugged, less productive hilly region. The constant upheaval, the need to quickly learn the nuances of a new area, the local customs, the specific crops, the challenges of a different climate. It all added to the relentless administrative pressure. You might feel a pang of empathy for these officials, caught between the emperor's insatiable demand for revenue and the harsh realities faced by the peasants. You are the middleman, the one who must squeeze the lifeblood out of the land, while also ensuring that the land remains productive for the next harvest and the next. The constant balancing act, the need to maintain order while extracting wealth, must have been a daily, exhausting struggle. Think about the sheer volume of paperwork generated by this system. Every asterisk, jagger, asterisk assignment, every transfer, every revenue assessment, every report of collection had to be meticulously recorded. There were detailed accounts of how much revenue a asterisk joga asterisk was asterisk supposed asterisk to yield the asterisk jamma asterisk versus how much it asterisk actually asterisk yielded the asterisk hassle asterisk. The discrepancies, the reasons for them, drought, flood, rebellion, corrupt officials, all had to be documented, explained, and justified. This wasn't just a financial system. It was a system of imperial control, a way for the center to monitor its vast periphery. You can almost visualize the old maps, not abstract geographical representations, but detailed records of human exploitation. They weren't beautiful artworks. They were working documents, annotated with crop types, revenue figures, irrigation channels, and population densities. They were the tools of empire, allowing a distant emperor to understand, in granular detail, the economic landscape of his vast dominion. The land, in essence, was viewed as a giant spreadsheet, its every square foot a potential source of income, to be meticulously measured, categorized, and monetized. This wasn't glorious conquest. This was the methodical, relentless accounting that made conquest sustainable. Let's descend further now, past the imperial capitals and the provincial governors, right down to the sun-baked, dust-choked villages, where the empire truly interacted with its millions of subjects. Here, the grand decrees of the emperor and the meticulous ledgers of the asterisk Dewan asterisk became a very real, very tangible pressure on the lives of ordinary people. And the faces of that pressure were primarily two figures, the asterisk Emil asterisk and the asterisk Kanungo asterisk. You might not find their names in heroic ballads, but their impact on daily life was far more direct and immediate than any emperor's. Imagine yourself in a small, remote village, the air thick with the scent of woods, animal dung, and sun-baked earth. The houses are mud brick, the fields stretch out to the horizon, and life moves at the slow, deliberate pace of the agricultural cycle. Then, a small procession arrives, perhaps a few men on horseback, their clothes a little finer than the villagers, their faces betraying a certain authority. These are the asterisk Amels asterisk, the revenue collectors, representatives of the imperial might, even if they are often local men themselves. You watch them dismount, their horses kicking up dust. The villagers, usually wary, gather slowly, their expressions a mixture of deference and underlying anxiety. The asterisk Emil asterisk is not a welcome sight, not because he is necessarily cruel, but because his arrival signifies the inevitable demand for a share of their hard-won harvest. He is the taxman, and in an agrarian society, that role carries immense weight. His task is unenviable, to extract the maximum possible revenue without provoking rebellion, to meet the quotas set by the asterisk Jagadar, asterisk or the central government. while navigating the complex social dynamics of the village, feel the tension in the air. The Emil often brings his own small retinue of scribes and muscle to ensure his authority is respected and that records are kept. His job is to assess the crop, to negotiate the share, and to ensure its timely collection, whether in cash or in kind. Imagine him walking through the fields, scrutinizing the stalks of wheat or rice, his experience allowing him to estimate yields with surprising accuracy. He's not just a bureaucrat, he's also an agricultural expert, a negotiator, and at times, a formidable enforcer. Now, alongside the Emil, or perhaps arriving separately, is another crucial figure, the Kanungo. This man is different. He's not an outsider, but an integral part of the village fabric, a hereditary record keeper. His family has probably held this position for generations, meaning he carries in his mind, and in his private, meticulously kept registers, the entire history of the village's land, its ownership, its productivity, its tax obligations. He is the living archive, the oracle of local knowledge. You sense the respect, perhaps even a touch of fear, that the villagers have for the Qanungo. He knows everything. He knows whose grandfather owned which plot, who irrigated from which well, the traditional boundaries, the historical crop yields. When the Emil comes to assess, it's the Kanungo who provides the essential data, the baseline against which new claims are measured. His word carries immense weight, and his records are the local standard. Imagine the Kanungo unrolling a scroll, its edges frayed, the paper yellowed with age, covered in dense, elegant script. He points to entries, rattling off figures and names, his voice a drone of factual information. His power comes from this knowledge, this mastery of data. He can, with a slight adjustment of a figure, alter a family's tax burden significantly. This makes him a pivotal figure, a bridge between the impersonal imperial bureaucracy and the deeply personal realities of village life. He's the one who often mediates disputes, translates imperial policies into local understanding, and ensures continuity in the face of changing officials. But this system was also ripe for corruption. You can almost smell it. The subtle offers of bribes, the whispered promises, the veiled threats. An Emil might inflate his collections, pocketing the difference. A Kanungo might manipulate records for a favored family or for a share of their produce. The Mughal administration, for all its sophistication, was constantly battling this endemic corruption. Imperial edicts frequently warned against it, prescribed harsh punishments, but the sheer distance from the center, the diffuse nature of power at the local level, and the immense opportunities for personal gain meant it was an ongoing struggle. You feel the harshness of this reality. For the peasant, the system was a relentless machine. They toiled, planted, harvested, knowing that a significant portion of their labor would be taken by the state. Droughts, floods, sickness, these were personal catastrophes that might offer little respite from the imperial demand. The Emil and the Kanungo were the instruments of that demand, the faces of an impersonal power structure that stretched far beyond their small world. The soundscape of this interaction is telling. The rustle of paper, the low murmur of negotiations, perhaps the occasional sharp command from the Emil assistant. But underlying it all is the silence of the peasants, their resignation, their quiet endurance. They understand that their survival depends on navigating this system, on appeasing these men, on providing enough to satisfy the empire's hunger without starving their own families. These figures, the asterisk, Emil asterisk, and the asterisk, Kanungo asterisk, were the essential conduits. Without them, the imperial center would have been blind and deaf to the realities of its vast rural base. They were the ground-level operators, the ones who ensured that the emperor's decrees, however grand, were translated into actual rupees and grains of wheat flowing into the imperial coffers. Their lives were a constant negotiation between imperial demands and local realities, a testament to the fact that even the most powerful empire rests on the daily, often gritty, work of its lowest-ranking administrators. They counted every grain, and in doing so, they literally counted the pulse of the Mughal Empire. Segment 4. The imperial scribes and their endless inkwells. Let's step back into the more ordered, though no less demanding, environment of the imperial asterisk daftar asterisk, the record offices, but with a specific focus. We are entering the domain of the imperial scribe, the asterisk munshi asterisk or asterisk navasanda asterisk, whose world is defined by ink, paper, and the relentless pursuit of legible, accurate record-keeping. Forget the grand adventures of emperors. Here, the greatest drama often plays out in the meticulous formation of a Persian script, or the careful balance of a ledger. You find yourself in a room, or perhaps a series of smaller alcoves, filled with a quiet, intense concentration. The air is heavy with the scent of lamp oil, old paper, and a faint, metallic temps of ink. Unlike the chaotic bustle of a modern office, there's a rhythmic, almost meditative quality to the activity. The scratching of reed pens on paper is the dominant sound, a constant, delicate whisper that speaks volumes about the sheer volume of documentation being produced. Look at the scribes themselves. They sit on low cushions or stools, their writing boards resting on their laps or on low desks. Their backs are often hunched. Their eyes, even in youth, often show a wariness that comes from long hours of focusing on minute details. Their hands are their most vital tools, steady, practiced, and often stained with ink. These are not just any men. They are highly skilled individuals, often trained from childhood in the demanding art of calligraphy and administrative languages. The language of the Mughal administration, you'll note, is predominantly Persian. Even in India, where countless local languages flourished, Persian was the lingua franca of power, scholarship, and bureaucracy. This means that a Mughal scribe wasn't just copying. He was often translating, or at least understanding, complex concepts from various sources into a standardized, elegant Persian script. Imagine the mental agility required, the deep linguistic knowledge, and the absolute precision demanded. Their tools are a testament to their craft. The asterisk, Kalamdan asterisk, a long, narrow pen box, often beautifully ornamented, holds their array of reed pens asterisk, kalam asterisk, each sharpened to a specific point for different scripts and purposes. Their inkwells are filled with a rich, dark ink, made from lamp black or iron gall, its quality crucial for enduring legibility. And the paper, it's not the uniform, mass-produced sheets you're used to. Mughal paper was handmade, sometimes from cotton rags, sometimes from other fibers, often polished with a smooth stone to a fine sheen, making it ideal for the delicate glide of a reed pen. You can almost feel the texture of the paper under your fingers. Slightly coarse, yet surprisingly durable. It's a physical reminder of the permanence that was sought in these records. These weren't ephemeral notes. They were meant to last, to be consulted for decades, even centuries. Every land grant, every imperial order, every financial transaction, every census of troops, every legal decree, all passed through the hands of these scribes, meticulously copied, verified, and archived. Consider the sheer monotony. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, the scribe copies. A new *Farman *Imperial order arrives from the emperor. It must be copied for various provincial governors, military commanders, and other departments. A report comes in from a distant province. It must be recorded, summarized, and filed. There is an endless stream of information, and it is the scribe's sacred duty to ensure its accurate and legible reproduction. But it's not just mindless copying. A good scribe possesses an understanding of the content, catching potential errors, inconsistencies, or ambiguities in the original. They are the first line of defense against administrative chaos. Imagine the constant mental effort to remain focused, to avoid mistakes that could have far-reaching consequences. A misplaced zero in a revenue figure, a wrong name in a military roster, a miscopied date in a legal document. The pressure for accuracy must have been immense. The filing system itself, though seemingly rudimentary by modern standards, was remarkably effective. Documents were often rolled, tied with string, and stored in large wooden chests or on shelves. There were Daftarkhana's dedicated record houses, where generations of documents accumulated, forming a literal paper trail of the empire's history. You can almost imagine the dust motes dancing in the shafts of sunlight, illuminating vast stacks of old scrolls, each one a fragment of a bygone era. What was the scribe's life like outside these walls? Often, it was one of modest means, but with a certain prestige attached to literacy and a close association with power. They were part of the educated elite, a crucial cog in the imperial machine. Yet their work was largely invisible, overshadowed by the more glamorous roles of warriors and courtiers. Their victories were not won on battlefields, but in the meticulous completion of a complex register, or the perfect rendering of a difficult imperial decree. You might feel a strange respect for these unsung heroes of bureaucracy. They were the ones who ensured that the emperor's will was not just declared, but recorded, disseminated, and enforced through the written word. They were the guardians of institutional memory, the purveyors of official truth. Without their endless hours of quiet, focused labor, the grand narratives of the Mughal Empire would have been fleeting whispers, unanchored by the solid, tangible proof of meticulously crafted paper and endless ink. Their legacy is not in grand monuments, but in the enduring, dusty archives that speak volumes about how an empire was truly run. Let's shift our gaze from the pure financial administration to the military and civil backbone of the Mughal Empire, the Mansabdari system. This wasn't just a simple ranking system. It was a sprawling, intricate web of responsibilities, obligations, and, crucially, meticulous record-keeping that dictated the lives of thousands of imperial officers. Forget the romantic notion of a knight simply following his lord. Here, every soldier, every horse, every penny of pay was subject to an intense, bureaucratic scrutiny. You stand at the edge of an imperial review ground, perhaps near a garrison city like Agra or Delhi. The air is thick with the smell of horse sweat, leather, and dust kicked up by hundreds of hooves. You hear the jingle of harness, the low murmur of commands, the occasional whinny. But this isn't just a military parade. It's a living, breathing audit. This is where the asterisk Mansabdari asterisk system, in all its bureaucratic glory, truly comes to life. A asterisk Mansada asterisk was an official appointed by the emperor, holding a asterisk Mansab asterisk, which literally means rank or position. This rank determined two things: his salary and his military obligations. Every asterisk Mansabda asterisk had a asterisk Zat asterisk rank, which indicated his personal status and salary, and a asterisk Saw asterisk rank, which stipulated the number of cavalrymen and horses he was expected to maintain for imperial service. Imagine, for a moment, being a asterisk Mansabda asterisk yourself. Your entire livelihood, your social standing, and your duty to the emperor are tied to these two numbers. But here's where the bureaucracy truly kicks in. The Mughals, ever wary of corruption and inefficiency, didn't just take a asterisk Mansabda asterisk's word for it. You, as a asterisk Mansabda asterisk, would be expected to bring your contingent, your men and your horses, for regular inspection, known as asterisk Doc Ochera asterisk. This was no cursory glance. You watch as a contingent of cavalrymen and their horses approach the inspection officers. The atmosphere is tense. The asterisk Mansabdar asterisk himself, perhaps a proud Afghan or a seasoned Rajput, stands nervously by. First, the horses. Each horse is meticulously examined for its breed, health, and fitness. Then, a brand, the asterisk Doc asterisk, unique to the asterisk Mansabda asterisk, is applied to the horse, a visible mark of its imperial service. This branding system was designed to prevent a asterisk Mansabda asterisk from presenting the same horse multiple times or from presenting inferior animals. Imagine the sting of the branding iron, the smell of burnt hair, the struggle of the animal. It's a visceral reminder of state control. Next, the asterisk Chera asterisk. Each soldier under the asterisk Mansabda asterisk is individually inspected. Their physical features are recorded: height, build, facial marks, age, a form of early biometric data. These detailed descriptions, the asterisk Chera asterisk, were used to prevent fraudulent practices, like a asterisk Mansabda asterisk presenting temporary hires, or men who were not genuinely part of his permanent contingent. You can feel the humiliation some of these seasoned warriors must have felt, being catalogued and scrutinized like chattel, their individuality reduced to a set of written descriptors. All of this, every inspection, every branding, every descriptive record, was painstakingly entered into massive ledger books by the scribes of the asterisk Mir Bakshi asterisk, the imperial paymaster general. Imagine these ledgers, columns for asterisk Mansabda, asterisk names, asterisk Zat, asterisk rank, asterisk Saw, asterisk rank, details of horses branded, descriptions of soldiers, dates of inspection, and records of payment. The sheer volume of this data for an army that numbered in the hundreds of thousands at various times is staggering. Then there was the issue of payment. A asterisk Mansabda asterisk was typically paid through the asterisk Jogaderi asterisk system, meaning he was assigned a revenue-yielding territory A asterisk Jogari asterisk instead of a direct cash salary from the imperial treasury. But the asterisk Jagir asterisk assigned might not always yield the full asterisk Jamma asterisk estimated revenue. This led to complex calculations and adjustments, recorded in yet more ledgers. If the asterisk Jagira asterisk fell short, the asterisk Mansabdar asterisk might petition for a different one, or for supplemental cash payment. It was a constant dance of accounting, negotiation, and reassessment. You start to realize that the Mughal military wasn't just a collection of brave warriors. It was a highly bureaucratized fighting force. Its strength derived not just from the individual prowess of its soldiers, but from the systemic efficiency, however imperfect, of its administrative control. The system ensured a standing army, theoretically ready for deployment. By making commanders directly responsible for maintaining their troops and horses, all under constant imperial oversight, the asterisk Mansabdari asterisk system wasn't static. It evolved. Over time, the gap between the asterisk Zat asterisk and asterisk Saw asterisk ranks widened, and the asterisk Jaggers asterisk became less productive, leading to administrative strain. But the core principle remained: an intricate, top-down system of delegated authority, constantly monitored and recorded. Imagine the asterisk Mir Bakshi asterisk, surrounded by his scribes and accountants, reviewing these massive ledgers. He is not a general. He is the chief bureaucrat of the army, the man whose job it is to ensure that the emperor gets the soldiers and horses he pays for, and that the payroll is managed. His power is in the data, in the meticulous tracking of every asterisk, Mansabdar, asterisk's obligation and fulfillment. You walk away from the inspection ground with a new appreciation for the unseen work that sustained this grand empire. The glory of battle, the valor of individual commanders, all depended on this invisible machinery of administration. The smell of horse and dust might fade, but the image of the branding iron, the meticulous records, and the endless columns of figures in the ledger books leaves a lasting impression. It was bureaucracy in its most elaborate and demanding form that forged and maintained the mighty Mughal military machine now. Let's turn our attention to the arteries of the empire, the vital lines of communication that bound together its sprawling territories. Forget your fiber optics and instant messaging. Imagine, instead, a network of dusty roads, relay runners, and horse posts stretching for thousands of miles. This is the Mughal asterisk Dak Shoki asterisk, the imperial postal system. And it was a marvel of logistical organization, ensuring that the emperor's will and crucial intelligence traveled swiftly across his vast domain. You're standing at a asterisk Dak Shoki asterisk station, a small, fortified outpost on a busy imperial highway. The sun beats down mercilessly, raising shimmering heat haze from the dusty track. The air smells of dry earth, distant cooking fires, and the ever-present odor of horses. This isn't a grand building. It's a functional hub, often just a few mud brick structures, a small stable, a resting room for runners, and perhaps a watchtower. But its purpose is monumental: to ensure the rapid transit of information. Suddenly, a cloud of dust appears on the horizon, rapidly approaching. From it emerges a runner, stripped to the waist, muscles rippling with exertion, carrying a asterisk Dak cash asterisk mailbag slung over his shoulder, perhaps adorned with small bells that jingle with his rhythmic stride. His face is grim with effort, sweat plastering his hair to his forehead. He doesn't slow down. He runs straight into the station, hands off his bag to a waiting, fresh runner, who barely pauses before sprinting off in the opposite direction. It's a seamless, almost athletic ballet of endurance and precision. Feel the raw physical effort involved. These runners, the Harkerus asterisk, were professional athletes, capable of covering incredible distances at a sustained pace, day and night. Their lives were harsh, constant travel, exposure to the elements, the ever-present danger of bandits or wild animals, and the immense pressure to deliver their precious cargo on time. They were the human conduits of the imperial bureaucracy, carrying official dispatches, royal decrees, revenue reports, and intelligence briefings. Their speed was a direct measure of the empire's efficiency, but it wasn't just runners. The Mughal Dak also utilized horse posts. Imagine another scene: a weary horseman, his mount lathered with foam, galloping into the Shocky. He dismounts, practically falling from the saddle, and a fresh horse, already saddled and eager, is brought forth. With barely a moment's rest, he or another rider leaps onto the new steed and gallops off, disappearing back into the dust. These horse posts allowed for even swifter transmission of urgent messages, covering longer distances more rapidly. You realize that this wasn't a luxury. It was a necessity. An empire as vast and diverse as the Mughal required constant communication between the center and its farthest provinces. How else could an emperor in Agra respond to a rebellion in Bengal, or a famine in Gujarat, or an invasion on the northern frontier? The Shocky system was the nervous system of the empire, transmitting vital signals that allowed the emperor to react, to govern, and to control. Think about the sheer logistical planning required. A network of stations, strategically placed along major routes, each maintained with fresh runners and horses, provisioned with food and water, and protected by guards. This wasn't spontaneous. It was a meticulously organized, well-funded, and constantly monitored imperial service. The Shocky. The superintendent of the postal system was a crucial official. His responsibilities spanning thousands of miles and countless personnel, the documents themselves, the Farman's imperial orders, petitions, QIA-novice, reports, news reports from provinces, all depended on this system. Imagine the anticipation at a provincial capital as officials awaited a dispatch from the emperor, perhaps confirming an appointment, authorizing a military campaign, or demanding an overdue revenue payment. And conversely, imagine the emperor impatiently awaiting intelligence reports from his frontier generals or provincial governors. Time was often of the essence, and the *DAC* system was designed to collapse that time as much as possible. You might feel the grind of the long journeys, the relentless pace, the constant awareness that the fate of distant populations, or even the empire itself, might hinge on the timely delivery of your precious bundle of papers. These weren't just messengers. They were vital instruments of state power, often risking their lives for the sake of imperial communication. The sounds of the Shocky are a blend of nature and human endeavor, the chirping of crickets in the evening, the snorts and restless stamping of horses, the hurried footsteps of officials, and the distant, fading jingle of bells as a runner disappears down the road. It's a testament to human ingenuity and endurance in the face of vast distances and unforgiving terrain. This imperial mail system also served as a vital intelligence network. The YQIA-novice news writers, stationed in every province and major city, were responsible for sending regular reports to the emperor, detailing local events, market prices, public mood, and any potential unrest. These reports, carried by the asterisks, provided the emperor with a panoramic view of his empire, allowing him to anticipate problems and take corrective action. It was an early form of state surveillance, designed to maintain control and prevent surprises. So, as you step away from the shocky asterisk, you carry a deeper appreciation for the unseen infrastructure that powered the Mughal Empire. It wasn't just about grand roads for armies to march on. It was about the smaller, faster pathways of information, carried on the backs of tireless runners and swift horses. This sophisticated postal system, a triumph of logistical bureaucracy, was as crucial to the empire's coherence and control as any palace or fortress. It was the whisper that kept the colossal machine of the empire humming. Let's delve deeper into the raw, often brutal, interaction between the Mughal state and its most numerous subjects. The peasants. We've spoken of the meticulous records, the careful assessments, but now we confront the actual moment of truth, the collection of taxes. Forget abstract economic theory. Imagine the desperate reality of a peasant family watching a significant portion of their year's labor being taken away, often at the point of a spear. You are in a village, the harvesting season just over. The fields, recently golden with ripe crops, now lie fallow, their stubble a testament to the back-breaking work just completed. The air, once filled with the hopeful scent of ripening grain, now holds a palpable tension. Everyone knows what comes next. The Emil or his agents, accompanied by a small escort, are making their rounds. Feel the tremor of fear, a primal anxiety that has echoed through generations of agrarian societies. The taxman's arrival is not a negotiation, it is a demand. The Mughal system, for all its administrative sophistication, rested on the extraction of a significant share of the agricultural produce, often 1/3 or even half of the harvest. Imagine watching as your carefully tended crops, the fruit of months of labor and worry, are weighed, measured, and carted away. The collection could be in cash or in kind. If in kind, the grain itself would be loaded onto carts, destined for imperial granaries, or the markets where it would be sold to generate revenue. You'd witness the methodical efficiency, the lack of empathy, as agents meticulously separate the state's share from yours. The physical act of taking the grain, the sight of your family's sustenance diminishing, must have been a profoundly disempowering experience. If in cash, the pressure was different but no less intense. You, as a peasant, would have to sell your produce in the local market to acquire the currency demanded by the state. This meant navigating the vagaries of market prices, often depressed immediately after a harvest when everyone else was selling. Imagine the desperation of having to sell low just to meet a tax obligation, knowing that the money would immediately pass into the hands of the collectors. The sounds are telling. The creak of carts laden with grain, the lowing of oxen, the sharp commands of the Emil men, and the quiet, almost resigned murmuring of the villagers. There's no joyous celebration of a successful harvest. It's immediately overshadowed by the state's claim. What happened if you couldn't pay? This is where the brutal aspect of the bureaucracy comes into stark relief. The Mughal state, while generally preferring a stable, productive peasantry, was not above coercion. Imagine the scene, a defiant or impoverished peasant, unable to meet the demand. The Emil men, often local strongmen or soldiers, would employ various methods. Perhaps they would seize cattle, agricultural tools, or even other personal possessions. The threat of physical violence, of imprisonment, or of having one's land confiscated loomed large. You feel the harshness of this system. It was designed to extract, and extract efficiently. While imperial decrees sometimes urged moderation and protection for the peasants, the reality on the ground was often different. Local officials, under pressure to meet quotas and often looking for personal gain, could be ruthless. The gap between benevolent imperial policy and the harsh realities of local enforcement was a constant feature of Mughal administration. The peasant's life was a cycle of labor and payment, often with very little left over. Droughts, floods, pestilence, these natural disasters, which could wipe out an entire harvest, rarely offered complete respite from the taxman. While some allowances might be made, the fundamental obligation remained. Imagine the gnawing fear that a single bad harvest could plunge your family into unrecoverable debt, potentially forcing you to abandon your land and become a landless laborer. This constant pressure, this systematic extraction of wealth from the rural base, was the financial engine of the empire. It funded the armies, built the palaces, maintained the court, and supported the vast bureaucracy itself. You realize that the grandeur of the Mughals, the very existence of their power, was built on the backs of millions of peasants, whose lives were defined by this relentless annual transaction. The asterisk, QANUNGO asterisk. The village record keeper plays a role here too, but his influence can be a double-edged sword. He might offer some buffer, some historical precedent for leniency, but ultimately he is also part of the system, a recorder of what is owed and what is taken. His records legitimize the process, translating a peasant's yield into a state's claim. As you step back from this scene of quiet subjugation, you carry the heavy weight of realization. The boring bureaucracy of the Mughal Empire wasn't boring at all for the people it governed. For the peasant, it was an annual moment of anxiety and often hardship. It was the tangible, sometimes terrifying, face of state power, a constant reminder that their labor was not entirely their own, but ultimately served the grand design of a distant emperor. The glitter of the court stood on the foundation of collected grain and meticulously recorded taxes, a stark and undeniable reality. Now, let's turn our attention to another crucial facet of Mughal bureaucracy, the administration of justice. Forget trial by combat or arbitrary royal decree. In the Mughal Empire, law and order were governed by a complex, multi-layered system, heavily reliant on written codes and established procedures. This brings us to the Qazi's court, a place where imperial authority and religious law intertwined, and where justice, however imperfect, was meticulously recorded. You find yourself in a provincial town, stepping into a Qazi's court. It's not a grand edifice, more likely a simple, austere building, perhaps with a quiet courtyard. The air is still, carrying the scent of dust, old paper, and perhaps the faint, acrid smell of nervous litigation. There's a solemnity here, a sense that important matters, often of life and death, are being decided. At the center of the court sits the Qazi, the judge. He is often a scholar of Islamic law, a man of learning and piety, appointed by the emperor to administer justice. He is not a warrior or an administrator in the traditional sense, but a legal expert, tasked with upholding the law, interpreting sacred texts, and mediating disputes. His authority is derived from both imperial decree and religious scholarship. You observe the proceedings. Cases range from petty theft and property disputes to matters of marriage, divorce, and even more serious crimes. The language used is often Persian, the official language of the court, but local languages are also employed for witnesses and defendants. Imagine the careful, measured tones of the *Qazi* as he listens to petitions, examines evidence, and consults legal texts. The legal framework of the Mughal Empire was primarily based on Islamic law, Sharia, particularly the Hanafi school of jurisprudence. This wasn't just a nebulous set of guidelines. It was a highly developed system of legal principles, precedents, and detailed rulings. Later, under Emperor Aurangzeb, this was codified into a monumental work called the *Fatwa-Iolamjari*, a vast compendium of legal rulings designed to standardize justice across the empire. Imagine the scribes who painstakingly compiled this, and the *Qazi* who would refer to it. A vast library of legal knowledge at his fingertips. But it wasn't just religious law. Local customs and traditions, particularly in rural areas, also played a significant role, often mediated by village councils *panchayats*. The imperial judicial system, however, served as the ultimate arbiter, providing a formal recourse for those seeking justice or appealing local decisions. Notice the meticulous record-keeping. Every petition, every testimony, every piece of evidence, every ruling, all are carefully documented by the court scribes. These are the *Mahazars* depositions, the sigils records of cases, the *RUQ, single quotes, ATS, written please. Each document is dated, sealed, and archived. Imagine the process. A plaintiff presents a written petition, the *Qazi* reviews it, summons the defendant, hears witnesses, and then delivers a verdict, which is then recorded for posterity. Feel the weight of these records. They are not just administrative tools. They are the literal embodiment of justice, the written proof of legal proceedings. A family dispute over land ownership, decided decades ago, could be revisited by consulting these dusty archives. A criminal conviction, its details preserved, stood as a warning and a precedent. The bureaucracy of justice was designed to ensure consistency, accountability, and a measure of predictability in the application of the law. The *Qazi* wasn't alone. He was often assisted by muftis legal experts who provided opinions fatwa on complex legal matters, and mere adils officials responsible for enforcing the *Qazis decrees. Imagine this small but formidable team, working together to navigate the intricacies of law and human conflict. What if the *Qazi* was corrupt or incompetent? The Mughal system provided avenues for appeal. Cases could be taken to higher courts, to the provincial governor, and ultimately to the emperor himself, who was considered the supreme dispenser of justice. This multi-tiered system, while sometimes slow and arduous, was designed to provide checks and balances, and to ensure that imperial justice, however distant, was ultimately accessible. The sounds in the court are hushed, respectful. The occasional cough, the rustle of robes, the scratch of a scribe's pen, and the measured tones of the *Qazi* are the primary auditory elements. There's a seriousness that permeates the air, a recognition that justice, even in its bureaucratic form, is a fundamental pillar of civilized society. As you step out of the *Qazi's court, you realize that the Mughal Empire wasn't simply a realm of arbitrary power. It was a state that, however imperfectly, strove to administer justice through a formalized, documented system. The intricate legal codes, the diligent scribes, the scholarly judges, and the careful archiving of every case, these were the unseen cogs that maintained order, resolved disputes, and gave a semblance of stability to a vast and diverse population. The bureaucracy of law, far from being boring, was the very mechanism by which the empire attempted to hold itself and its people together. We've journeyed through the intricate machinery of Mughal bureaucracy, from the central *Dewan* to the village *Amil*, from the branding of horses to the solemn pronouncements of the *Qazi*. Now, let's step back and consider the ultimate legacy of this immense administrative undertaking, and how the very weight of its meticulousness eventually contributed to the empire's decline. A story not of dramatic battles, but of quiet, bureaucratic strain. Do you stand in a vast, dusty archive, not a specific place, but an imagined repository of all the ledgers. The *Farmans*, the *Rs*, the *Cheras*, and the *Sigils* we've discussed. The air is dry and still, laden with the scent of decaying paper and the silent whispers of countless forgotten lives. You can almost feel the weight of centuries of documentation, a physical manifestation of an empire built on paper and ink. The Mughal bureaucracy, at its zenith under emperors like Akbar and Shah Jahan, was a triumph of administrative engineering. It brought stability, standardized revenue collection, maintained a massive army, and ensured a degree of imperial control over a fragmented subcontinent. It was, in its time, a cutting-edge system, a testament to the power of organization and record-keeping. The sheer detail, the relentless pursuit of information, allowed the emperors to effectively govern a vast realm. But empires, like all complex systems, carry the seeds of their own decay. And for the Mughals, the very bureaucracy that made them strong eventually contributed to their weakening. Imagine the immense cost. You picture not just the visible grandeur of the court, but the invisible, relentless expenditure required to maintain this vast administrative apparatus. Thousands of scribes, *amels, *QANUNGOS, Harcarus, and *QAZIS, all drawing salaries, maintaining contingents, requiring resources. The demand for revenue grew ever larger to support not just the army and the emperor, but the bureaucratic machine itself. The pressure on the land and on the peasants became increasingly unsustainable. Feel the strain. The gap between the estimated revenue and actual revenue grew, as land productivity was pushed to its limits and local conditions deteriorated. The Jogadari system, once efficient, became a source of instability. As the number of *MANSABDARS* grew, the availability of productive *Jagayas* dwindled, leading to competition, dissatisfaction, and a decline in military efficiency. *Mansabdars* were increasingly unable to maintain their required contingents, leading to a weakening of the imperial army. You envision the endless ledgers, once a source of strength, now perhaps becoming a burden. The sheer volume of documentation, the meticulousness of the records, could also become a source of inertia, making the system slow to adapt to changing circumstances. Imperial decrees might still flow, but their enforcement became increasingly patchy as central control weakened and provincial governors grew more autonomous. The sound here is a quiet, melancholic hum, the sound of an empire slowly unwinding, not with a bang, but with the quiet rustle of neglected paper, the relentless pursuit of data, which once brought clarity, now perhaps only highlighted the growing fissures in the imperial structure without offering easy solutions. Consider the human element. The asterisk, amels, asterisk and asterisk, QANUNGOS. Asterisk, once efficient conduits, might become more corrupt, more entrenched, their loyalty to the local power structure growing stronger than their allegiance to a distant emperor. The asterisk, Mansabda's asterisk, constantly transferred, might lose incentive to truly develop their asterisk, Jagir's asterisk, extracting what they could before moving on. The very systems designed to ensure loyalty and efficiency could, in times of stress, begin to unravel. The decline of the Mughal Empire is often attributed to grand narratives. The religious policies of Aurangzeb, the rise of regional powers, the Maratha expansion, the coming of the British. But beneath these more dramatic events lay the quiet, grinding strain of administrative failure. The bureaucracy, once the empire's greatest asset, could not sustain the weight of its own complexity and the growing demands placed upon it. The elaborate system of checks and balances, designed to prevent fraud and ensure control, eventually became too cumbersome, too expensive, and too susceptible to local subversion. As you step away from this metaphorical archive, you carry with you a profound understanding. The boring bureaucracy of the Mughal Empire was anything but boring. It was the very engine of its existence, the meticulous framework that allowed an emperor to project his power across a continent. It was a system built on paper, ink, and the endless, often unacknowledged, labor of thousands of individuals, and its legacy. Even today, in modern India, you can find echoes of Mughal administrative practices, in land revenue systems, in local record-keeping, in the very architecture of governance. The Mughal bureaucrats, with their endless inkwells and ledger books, built a system that, for centuries, defined how a vast and diverse land was organized, taxed, and controlled. It reminds you that behind every grand historical narrative, behind every legendary figure, lies the indispensable, often tedious, but utterly vital work of administration. The quiet hum of the bureaucratic machine that truly keeps the world and empires turning.